the kingdom, thine is the power, all of the glory belongs to you. You've given your power.
Welcome to the Advancing the Kingdom podcast. We're streaming live on all social media platforms and podcast streaming channels. Get ready for a revelatory teaching from our apostle, Matthew Tillery.
Well, greetings. Thank you so much for tuning into the Advancing the Kingdom podcast. I am your host tonight, Apostle Matt Tillery. Listen, we really appreciate you tonight. Thank you so much. Really appreciate those of you that's listening by via all of the podcast channels, and to those of you that's watching live on Facebook and YouTube. We certainly thank God for you tonight. This is going to be an exciting conversation tonight. We chose February, the first and second Mondays of this month. We are going to be highlighting businesses, African-American businesses, men and women that's doing some great things in their business. Certainly want to highlight that and celebrate Black History Month. Of course, we know not just February is Black History. Every day is Black History. So I'm excited to have with us tonight Mr. William Mann, Jr. He is the CEO, president, and owner and everything else of Mann's Auto Repair and Towing in the great city of Rocky Mount, NC. Listen, he is located at 2911 South Westland Boulevard here in our great city of Rocky Mount. Listen, this month, once again, we are highlighting African Americans, entrepreneurs, to celebrate Black History Month on Mondays, first and second Mondays, and we may do a couple of Thursdays as well. Dr. Carter G. Woodson, he was known as the father of Black history. He recognized that Black contributions were intentionally excluded from American history books and classrooms. And so in 1915, he co-founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History. His goal was not to celebrate alone, but historical correction and dignity. What is remembered is honored. What is honored is protected. What is protected is passed on. So Black history exists because the stories of Black folk are too powerful to stay buried and too important to forget. You cannot erase truth because truth is uncomfortable for you or to you. So we thank God for you tonight, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. William Mann, Jr., for coming on the podcast to share with us your story, your business, and so forth and so on. Appreciate you coming on.
You're welcome.
So let's go ahead and jump into this conversation tonight. How long have you been in repair auto business? Have you always done it? Because I know a lot of times we say, oh man, we were doing that as kids. You know, we working on vehicles in the backyard. They call us shade, well, not me, but some folks shade tree mechanics. So how long have you been repairing vehicles?
Well, you know, back in 1999, I went legally the right way. But knowing the vehicles, I've been a gearhead all my life, and I believe I'm gonna stay like that for the rest of my life. But the thing about it is, you can't do it without God. If you want to succeed and do it right, you got to have Him involved. So it took a while for me to meet conditions to get where I am now. But like I said, we always, and it is, room for improvement.
So, so you said something very powerful, that you had to keep God at the forefront of. So that's been a mentality for you then, to keep God at, even in your business, to keep God at the forefront of your business, or at the top of your business.
You know, you have to, because either way you see it, you can't leave God out of anything. And if you try to leave God out of anything, you ask me, it just won't work if you're serving God. So it's that point right there. I just sort of leave it at that point because of the fact that every man got to see God for himself. So basically what I'm doing is acknowledging God, and I'm following my dream that I asked God to do for me back when I was coming up.
So that's so this is something you always wanted to do. When you said you're following your dream, is that being a dream, having a dream of being an entrepreneur, owning your own business, or just doing mechanical work?
I always wanted to work for myself.
Oh, so you had that entrepreneur mentality.
Oh yeah, very strong, very, very strong.
Why do you think that you wanted to have your own business versus working for someone else? What motivated you to do that? Did you see other people that inspired you that had their businesses, and you said, you know what, I want to have my own business?
Yeah, it's a lot to that right there, because of the fact that looking at my father, the way he worked, and I looked at him and the things that he did, it stuck with me, and it never left my front door. I deviated, but down the road I came back. But still, at the end of the day, my thought was to make my parents proud of me while they were still living, so they can see it.
Right.
And, and that right there, I am, and I believe 100% that my mother and my father are proud of me.
Right. I'm sure they are. Yeah, I'm sure they are. So it took some courage though to get out and start a business. Now that's a lot of faith and a lot of courage, because if you're working for somebody else, just go punch the clock, 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 or whatever, and then at the end of the day you go home. You don't have to worry about no expenses and paying folk and all of that stuff. But now it's a different mentality that you have your own business.
Yes, it is, because a business, it has only certain hours that you work. But from the time that the Lord bless you to wake up, your mind is like, okay, we got a business that we got to run. We got a time. We got to serve the people, the community, whoever comes to the front door. And at the end of the day, it's a shutdown time for the people. But still, I have to have my personal time. And after hours, it still goes on. I have to do for myself after hours, but I make it so hard because of the fact that when I do shut my doors, I'm still working and my mind is still going, because of the fact that having a business, you can't shut it on and shut it off like a light.
And you can't leave when you get tired, right? You don't want to go there. You said, oh, I don't want to go there today. I'm going to call in. Who you going to call?
You can't call the Ghostbusters, I can tell you that. You can't do that. But, I love, and I really do, I love what I do. It's hard, and it's not a situation, or it's not a thing that anybody can pick up and do, because some things you never master, because things is always changing. The way the society is with the technology never stays the same. It always changes. And when you think you got it, it done changed already.
Wow. And that's what I was going to ask you too. How do you stay on top of technology, as particularly with new vehicles and things are changing? How do you prepare yourself and stay on top of the new technology that's coming out?
Well, Apostle, you have to read and you have to study up on things to advance yourself And if you want to, because of the fact that if you don't read and study and hands-on training, you can't really get a grasp on what you want to do or what you want to work on. You could be like, I think, but do you really know? You need to know the ins and the outs. It's a beginning, it's a situation in the middle, and it's a situation before you get to the end. So once you get to the end, you know, I know this right here. But going through a situation like I keep thinking, I don't know, I'm not sure, you got to check yourself then. Because when you start checking yourself, you're like, I'm not really sure right now.
Right. Yeah, I remember a while back, it wasn't you, it was, it's been a good while back. But this joker changed every part on my vehicle. He put every part that he could possibly put up there, trying to, I guess, rule out it's not this, so let's put this up there. So you said something that you have to train. You have to train. You have to know your stuff. You can't just keep buying, putting parts on for folk, and you don't know what's wrong with the vehicle.
Right. You know, Apostle. That's why you must know, you got to keep up on technology. You really have to do it because of the fact you can't hit it like dead on. You have to learn, and you got to stay at it until like, I got it. Let me break it back down and let's do it again. Because when you're doing it, you forgot. You got to do it all over again on something else.
Right.
And if you do it on something else, you keep doing it over and over, and you start to master it. You get better. And what happened? They change up on you. They come up with something new, but it's not much. But it's to add on what you already have.
Right. So how important is providing good customer service as a business owner? How important is that, providing good customer service? Now, we've taken our vehicles to you. You're our mechanic, so we take our stuff to you, and you provide great, excellent customer service. Mm-hmm. So how important is that to you in terms of having a business? How important is having good customer service?
That's very important. That's a good point you brought up. You know, they always say the customers are always right.
Is that true, though?
No, I got to answer that.
From a business, I understand what you.
Well, you know, in the sense, on the good way, no, the customer is not always right, but you break it. Try to break it down in a way so they can understand it. Like take Jesus for instance. Jesus himself, he spoke for us to understand it, but we couldn't grasp on the first time. We couldn't grasp on. You had to think about it. You're like, okay. It's the same way with the customers when I talk to them. Some days I want to be in a quiet mode, but I can't.
Right. I
have to have a smile. I'm an easygoing person.
Even if you're having a bad day, you have to have a smile.
You got to have a smile regardless. I try real hard and to treat everybody accordingly, and I think I do a very good job. Some like look at me like, you know, Miss Man, you okay today? I said, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. But still, that courtesy is always there because of the fact that I love my customers that comes to the shop because I treat them with the utmost respect. I tell them I don't know everything, but I can give you my very best that I have, and I present it to you. A lot of customers that I do talk to that comes to the shop, they like this place that we come to. It don't seem like a mechanic shop because the way it is and the atmosphere that's inside of the place.
Right.
You know, it's no riffraff, no crazy stuff actually going on. It's a very humble place and a very safe place.
Right.
That's the main thing. It's a safe place.
Well, I know it's safe. I've seen your signs out there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So true. That's true. But you know, you got to see it far off, you know, before it approach you. But Apostle, you know, dealing with the public when I first got started in business, it was really hard.
Yeah.
You can't if a customer come in, you can't bigger with them back and forth. That's unbusinesslike. They was told me I didn't have patience. I'm a little short tempered. But like I said, you don't see yourself, but other people see it. So when it was addressed to me, I had to work on it. God had to give me patience.
Right.
And I'm still working on it, but I'm a whole lot better and I'm a whole lot calmer.
Right. So what are some of the challenges from owning your own business to working for someone else? What are some challenges that you have now that you didn't have when you were employed by someone else?
Okay. It's a lot to that right there. When I was working under a leadership of someone else, I had to be there on time, for one thing.
Right.
When it was time to go, I had to go.
Right.
Everybody had to follow protocol when you was working on the job or how you was going. So I said, maybe one day when God blessed me to have the business, I'll find out how this work. So the thing I understand about working for myself is you pay bills every week. You pay them. It ain't such thing as a day off.
Right.
You pay bills every week. You learn how to budget money really well.
Right.
If you want to succeed.
Right.
In the business.
Right.
I learned that all the money that you make, all of it don't belong to you.
Right.
You have to give God what belongs to him.
Right.
If you do like you're supposed to do by the word, God asks you to pay your tithes and the offering. That's what I do faithfully.
Right.
What I did also learn on that situations working for yourself, you learn a lot of insights about dealing with personal things like dealing with stuff in the bank situation,
Right.
talking to different telemarketers and stuff like that.
Right.
It's like you open your door and you're putting yourself out there because you have to put yourself out there for people to talk to you so you can actually learn things to help your business actually to grow.
Right. Right. So one of the things you said that you have to open yourself up to new ideas, people oriented now, business oriented. So your thinking has to shift now. When you were once again employed by someone else, you knew at 8 you just need to be there, even if you was late or whatever. But now it's not that I can't be late. Because so the thinking process has to totally shift now.
Yes, it does.
Because if the thinking stays the same, then your business won't last long.
No, it won't. I don't see business come and go and fall. I didn't criticize them. I didn't go out and talk about them. But so many people have told me, say, hey, man, you've been in business for a long time. Said, we don't see them come and go, but you still here.
Now, how long you been in business again? Your own business?
About 26 years now.
Wow. So that's longevity.
Yes. And I give God and the credit and the glory for all of that right there.
Well,
Still doing it now.
Yeah, but 26 years says that you didn't operate your business like a fool. You may have made some mistakes. We all do. We all still are making some.
Mm-hmm.
But you learn from some of the mistakes that you made and say, I can't do that because that's going to affect my business in a negative way. So your thought process changed.
It had to. Do it wouldn't work.
Right.
Yeah. It ain't no other deception about it. When you lay down at nighttime, you want to have the mentality in your mind like, oh, I'm free. I didn't do anything wrong to anybody. I didn't talk bad to anybody today. I am good. I didn't get over on the person today and feel like, okay, it was okay. No, it's not okay. That's not how you run a business.
So you didn't go. So what you're saying is you didn't go put a $50 part and charge the customer $500. So that's because that's integrity stuff there, and God honors when you walk with integrity, character of Him. Then your business something hasn't been doing right in your business to survive 26 years. I know people start business don't last 6 months, 6 days.
Right.
So 26 years is a long time.
It is. I done been through some bad times, hard times, good times. It's just like the table turns. Every day it's not going to be a good day when you run the business, but you got to hang in there because of the fact that God allowed you to bless up the week. The next day, it starts a new day, a new beginning. You're like, okay, let's start this thing off right today and see how it work out.
Right. Well, listen, we are honoring tonight and next Monday night. We're having business African American business owners on the podcast. We're celebrating Black History Month this month, and we certainly want to highlight some of the great things that some of our black men and women are doing in this region and beyond. So we're very grateful again to have with us Mr. William Mann Jr. He is the CEO and president of Mann's Auto Repair and Towing in Rocky Mount, NC. So we really, once again, appreciate him coming on tonight. So what would you say tonight to that young person that says, you know what, I want to start a business, but I'm afraid. I know what God has told me to do, but I am afraid to do it because I am afraid that I will fail. What would you say to that person tonight?
To the people out there that want to have a business and get started, if you start the business off right, it'll end right.
Wow, that's powerful there. If you start it out right, it'll end right.
It'll end right. My dad always told me that when I was small. He said, if a situation started off wrong, it's going to end up wrong. But when he told me, you started off right, it'll end up right. And myself, when I started it, I got with positive people that's been in the business for a while. And I listened to what they said. And I did not retaliate and told them, like, I know, because I didn't know. How can you know something if you never started doing anything?
Right.
You got to learn and you got to listen.
Right.
So I listened, took it upon myself, what I have to do this right here to get legalized.
Right.
So once I got legalized and took it step by step and went from there, here I am with the help of God. So to you people out there, young folks out there, if you got a dream that you want to follow, you can do it. Hang in there. It's going to be tough getting started, but once you get into it and start to live in your dream what you want, you will succeed. But the main thing you got to do, you got to keep some God in it so he can keep blessing you.
Wow. So that sounds like to me, God is a priority for you, and he has to be for you to be successful like you have for 26 years.
Yes, sir. I can say it truly about myself. I'm talking about myself and my business and my household. Yes, you got to be there. And, you know, I had some good workers come. You know, I always told some of the guys that was working there, I said, you know what? I said, I don't fire you. I said, if anything happens, you fire yourself.
Right.
And because I always believe in giving a person a chance.
Right.
And if you want a chance, you got to make it happen. You got to hang in there if you want that chance.
Right. Well, I'm looking at a part-time job, but we'll talk about it after the podcast.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Look, you know, we met you, or I met you through my good friend Corey Woodard, and that's how you and I were introduced. He was telling, he said, man, this guy, you have to go. He did this and he did that, and he's a great mechanic. So that's how you and I met through my friend Corey Woodard.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, I love him. I met him some years ago. I consider him as my brother. I really do, because, you know, we talk and, you know, we fellowship. And my thing about it is when we got together, I actually got hooked up and got connected to you also as well. And that is it's a good thing to do, because of the fact that when you got the men, the acting right, being a good leader, so the young guys can see, or the young men, they'll be like, if they can do it, I can do the same thing as well.
Right, right.
You just got to be obedient and listen, but you can't go around telling people, yeah, I know. No, you don't know, not yet, until you get involved.
Right, right. So you just have to be humble and learn all you can learn.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I would listen. Those of you that's watching the podcast tonight, or those of you that's listening, whatever business God has given you, don't quit. Don't throw in a towel. I know sometimes it's very frustrating. Sometimes you want to quit. We all been there, So none of us are immune from wanting to throw in the towel, wanting to quit, because sometimes things get difficult. But just keep driving it, keep pushing it. I always say when I'm cycling, keep paddling. Sometimes I get tired, but I have to keep paddling because I have to get back to my destination, right? So some of you may be tired now. You may be physically, mentally tired. You just may be drained tonight. But I would say whatever business God has given you, whatever the business is, don't quit. I mean, just keep pushing it and keep working it, and you're going to see that thing explode sooner than later. It's going to happen sooner than later. So go ahead.
One thing I want to say also as well that I learned, I never been a person that actually, like say splurge money or just money to throw it away. You can't make money if you were spending money. You can't spend money and make money. You got to be able to budget yourself. Just because you have a business don't mean that you have all kinds of money. All depends on what kind of business it is. But still, if you have a business, you on a money budget.
Yeah.
You on a money budget.
Yeah.
Right, because if you're making money and you started going out spending money and buying this right here, and you want to try to keep up with the Joneses or whatever, somewhere down the line you can be like, where the money's going?
Yeah, because it took money for you to buy the equipment that you have in there, right? So if I bring my vehicle to your shop, I need you to have the equipment that you can hook your stuff up and say, this is what's going on, right? So you have those, you have the equipment in your place to do that. But it wasn't free. Did somebody give you that?
No.
They could have. I don't know. I'm asking.
No, it didn't. No, the businesses actually helped make the money to buy this equipment because of the fact that myself, I didn't want to stay in that one spot and limit to myself. If I wanted to be able to serve all different nationalities, different colors, have a God sitting in the door. That's the people I want to serve. I mean, not just one color, all of them, because of the fact, technically, since I actually...
Yeah, you're having a business. That color has nothing to do with your business.
But trust me,
money is green, right?
Money is green, long as legal, But, since I always been in business, I always had a good clientele. But another thing now I learned too, you cannot satisfy everybody.
Right.
That's one thing I did learn. You cannot. I don't care what you do. You cannot satisfy them. But you just, Lord, give me strength, and you just keep going forward, because long as you've done your part by keeping it right with them and keeping it 100, and you like, I did my part. Okay, Lord, that's another test right there that I pretty much passed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your hardest repair work that you had to do since you've been in business? What is the hardest repair work that you had to do? I know you probably had a lot of hard ones, right?
Apostle Terry, people bring me stuff that I'm like, wow, do they really think I can fix this right here? And I'm like, hey, take it to man, let him work on it, A matter of fact, let me tell you something right now. I have a car at the shop right now. I'm taking the motor out and putting it in. It's an Infinity. That is the hardest molding job they put in and take out all-wheel drive. And I say to myself, it's just another day at the office, because it comes along with the job.
Right.
It comes along with the job.
So you work on all types of vehicles. So is there anything that you say, you know what, I don't want to mess with that?
If it comes to the shop, first of all, I'm going to look at it and see what kind of issues going on with it. And if it's too bad, I'm not going to mess with it. But you got to be smart about some things. Sometimes you can't work on every job, and some jobs you just have to turn away. You got to turn them away.
How about Dodge Rams? You work on them?
Yeah, I do. Work on plenty of them. Every vehicle have its own issues.
Right.
That's why, some people like, you work on so many vehicles, how you know to work on and do what to each individual. I said, thing about it is, if you hook yourself to one thing, you can't advance yourself in something else. So I try to do, and I work on stuff like that, and studying on it, reading up on it, and see what's going. If one car got this issue going on with it, and another one come to you, pretty much it's gonna be sort of some of the same thing, but it might be something different that you can tweak on it,
Right.
and fix it, and actually go from there.
Wow. Well, man, look, our time is up. It's 7:30 already. Once again, really appreciate you coming on tonight on the Advancing the Kingdom podcast. Is there anything else you want to share tonight before we go off the air or go off the podcast?
Well, I just want to thank you, Apostle Terry, for you and your first lady wife for having me on tonight. You know, it's an honor actually to be on the podcast, and I was pretty much excited about being on. But other than that, you know, I just thank God for allowing me to be worthy enough to actually come on your podcast, because you see something in me that, like, okay, he's a businessman, he's a God-fearing man, so he's doing what he's supposed to do, and I really like that.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, we overlook people because of their status a lot of times, but all of us bring a different degree of wealth of knowledge to the table.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we could just not look at the definition of success, what does success looks like, right? So to me, success is what you're doing. So why not bring you on the podcast, have a conversation? So I just really appreciate you coming on tonight and just really sharing your heart and your heartbeat. And we pray that God will continue to bless your business, that whatever vision that you have for this year, that God will bring it to pass, and just supply every need that you need, everything that you need to get the job done, every piece of equipment, that God will put show his favor over your life this year, that this will be the greatest year for your business.
Thank you.
That your sales this year will blow your mind, and your sales this year will be greater. When you look at your numbers at the end of the year, you're going to say, man, that short guy on the podcast told me February the 2nd that my sales would be greater than they ever been. So your business will explode this year. I believe that the favor of God will just increase, and his stature will increase over your life this year.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Amen. Listen, I'm talking to Mr. William Mann Jr. He's CEO, the head chef at Mann's Auto Repair and Towing, 2911 South Westland Boulevard, here in the great city of Rocky Mount. Listen, if you're having car trouble, vehicle trouble, truck, car, train, elevator, doesn't matter, call 252-972-9811. Give him a call. If you need towing, he has a wrecker. He'll come pull you out of the snow today. So whatever you need, give him a call, 252-972-9811. Listen, been a great conversation tonight. I'm Apostle Matt Tillery. Until next Monday at 7 p.m., go and advance the kingdom.
We pray you have been empowered and blessed by this teaching. Join us next week for the Advancing the Kingdom podcast. If you would like to reach us, email us at mltillery@icloud.com.